Welcome back to another playthrough of Shogun 2 Total War. I am Maneth and we are playing as Portugal, the Portuguese mod in which we are able to play the Portuguese Empire, which was unavailable in the vanilla game. So, in last time, we have taken over northern Kyushu. Shoni Tsunenari is dead, trampled to his death. Beneath the hooves of my war horses, Clan Shoni is no more, and all we have left is to pacify northern Kyushu before we march south and face the Shimazu. So we've made some progress, and that is great. I intend to ferry these two generals onto Kyushu. They'll be of much greater use there, as well as the missionary Torres, who has been freed from imprisonment after his run-in with a Metsuke a few turns ago. Much work is to be done if we are to march towards Kyoto and eventually become the master of the land. Thank you, Sebastian. Your enthusiasm is most admirable. Let's convert the harbour in Hyzen into a trading port in order to make sure that trade flows through. So, as well as that, we can also generate more revenue, greater income from that as well. It is only 6 turns until we are able to basically, recruit caravels, warships with the big guns, the cannons. I think a caravel has 10 cannons on each ship, and with that arsenal, we could probably have an edge in naval warfare. We already do actually with our merchant caravel, despite having no cannons. Luckily for us, many Shimazu provinces are even more Christian. Many Shimazu provinces are even more Christian than ours. Evidently, the Otomo has also played that game of conversion. This tactic is literally the oldest tactic in the history of colonial empires. Basically, converting the local people to the faith, and they will be easier to control. Similarly, when Herman Cortez attacked Central America, he toppled the Aztec Empire with support from local tribes who have long been suppressed by the Aztecs, and support from local people with Catholic sympathies, like his then-to-be wife, Maria, who was a local woman in Central America at the time. Now, the Otomo may share our faith, but we must not forget that at the same time they are our rivals, our allies religiously, politically. They are a different, separate entity. And it seems we have stumbled upon one of the greatest ironies of all, the Iko-Iki fighting against the Uesugi. Now, I believe both these factions have a tradition of warrior monks, so obviously we can expect much of the Spider-Man meme when these warrior monks of the same faith encounter each other on the battlefield. They're actually terrifying. The Iko-Iki are creating, evidently, on the map, on the mini-map, a great theocracy, a theocratic central Japan, because the Iko-Iki, being a theocracy themselves, by spreading their influence of power, they are actually creating this theocratic empire, ruled by, of course, their clergy, and of course they will collide at some point with our missionaries, and it will be much harder to convert because they are very zealous in their faith. So it is quite scary. Their power is scary, and it might mean a much more difficult game for us. Now, Haiga will fall easily. My greatest concern is probably Satsuma. There's an army right there. Satsuma, a fervent Buddhist. Evidently, the conversion, the conversion isn't going so well down that far south. It's only 2% Christianity, and even after it's 100%, I believe the people of Satsuma will remain loyal to the Shimazu. He existed in history. Shimazu Toshihisa was a great warrior in his day. More for us to be careful about. I think what I'm going to do is we have to build a church in Satsuma once we conquer it, in order to basically convert the population, the capability of recruiting more missionaries, and therefore pacifying Kyushu before we march onto the mainland. I think we need a great number of missionaries to actually march south and pacify, to convert Satsuma. The progress is going very slowly, undoubtedly due to the great loyalty that the people have for the respectable Shimazu. I respect them. They might be my enemies, but they are some of my favourite clans historically, reading history. Next turn we'll be able to get musketeers, and they will give us an edge. Meanwhile, we need more swordsmen from Goto, where we could ferry over to Hizen and Tsukushi. Now, they're marching north. This Shimazu army is marching north. It's not a big army. It's not a significant force. If they attack us, we can absolutely repel them. But at the same time, it's the Shimazu are acclaimed warriors, so I will not take them on lightly. Absolutely not. What else can we do in this turn? Oh. 4 more turns. Oh! Uh-oh.
An honorable truth.
It seems we're in a bit of a trouble. There is a Shimazu army, a great army, that I wasn't aware of. And it seems the Otomo clan has been destroyed. Meanwhile, Shimazu Takahisa sits in Bungo, his newly acquired territory, taken from the fallen Otomo. So now there are literally 3 factions left on Kyushu: the Portuguese in the north, the Christian rebels in Hyuga, and the Shimazu onslaught, the Shimazu war machine, literally in Bungo. I'm quite torn actually what to do next. Should I roll over their lands, or should I destroy that great army in Bungo first? Choices, choices. There's one thing for sure. We have to fortify, we have to militarize at a faster rate. We seriously have to militarize. This is actually not funny. At the same time, we must actually take heed of our buckling revenues, because what happened was that we were trading very prosperously with the Otomo clan, but there is no Otomo clan anymore.
Do not expect tea. That is for Fred.
Oh.
Speak your piece.
Actually, they've got meager prosperity. Let's see what Hikawa will offer me.
Speak.
Nope. We have the cards stacked against us.
Speak plainly. Speak quickly. Your presence is not entirely welcome.
You were obliging not so long ago. What happened? Oh, actually, I think
I do not think
it's them that. Well, obviously I do, and obviously it's going to be temporary, because I think you'll go down soon anyway. The Iki won't leave you alive. Right.
This is hard.
I'm surprised though that. Wait, hang on. I think what we could do. Actually, no. Nope. If we could incite a rebellion in southern Kyushu, take those settlements, we will not be at war with the Shimazu, although they may attack us all the same. But at the same time, we'll gain more territories at the expense of the Shimazu without going to war with them. Well done, Frana. Well done. That's what we need. What the? You were literally. Do I have to wait till next turn? You were literally there. You could literally walk from there. It's like walking from, I don't know. It's literally a walk from the city of London to, I don't know, Tower Hamlets? Oh, I'll just wait till next turn then. Really? Really? Do I have... What is it that I have to be responsible for these idiots all the time? Attack somebody else. Why are you attacking literally the biggest naval power of literally this century? What the... Now that's fucked up. No. Yeah, we're going to Neptune. Right, okay, let's... Good. Very dramatic, but if it works, it works. Ooh. What should you go for? Jesuit or the sword? I mean, a sword-wielding Jesuit. And the fact that it got the design right for the time period really appeals to me, but at the same time we need a Jesuit retainer to increase the zeal when converting provinces. Literally, Pope in the making. Well done, Torres. And you too, Frana. Now, what we need to do is we need to find the location of, not that one, the great big Shimazu army, probably somewhere in Hyuga. They're probably not here because they marched south to crush the Christian rebellion. Or they're probably in Hygo. Either way, we have to find it. We have to destroy it, preferably in a siege or in the open field. If they attack us, we can gun them down from the top of our castles and strongholds. If we meet them in the open field, the musketeers will make short work of them. I think what also should be done is, sooner or later, we upgrade one of these castles, or in Hygo, we take Hygo, we build another chapel so we can recruit more missionaries, incite more rebellions. Perhaps we can tear the Shimazu land from within. So at least we know where the Shimazu are. It seems the little rebellion we spurred in Bungo has been put down decisively. And that is a strong army, a formidable fighting force. dodge them. Why is the province is literally 93% Christianity? Why are the chances of success only 5%? Is this meant to be the capital? Have they moved the capital from Satsuma to Hygo? Because that is funny. It's actually quite strange. In some ways, the Shimazu are eponymous with Satsuma. Swordsman coming along. Now, as I said, we hold the advantage if they attack us in a siege, considering the expertise, the capability of our musketeers, our gunners from the castle ramparts. Would it be a good idea to provoke them into a war, and Takahisa tries to attack us in a siege, then we subsequently destroy him and his wretched army in a siege battle? Who's gone now? Right, okay, so the Uesugi has been destroyed by a bunch of zealous warrior monks. Shocking news. Meanwhile, let's continue our religious work. It seems the Shimazu really put their foot down. I don't like that. That's dangerous for us to operate. Sooner or later, I have a feeling the Shimazu are going to start recruiting Metsukes to go after our missionaries. That's not great either. Right, what's not necessary? I mean, there's an archery dojo here and an archery dojo here and another archery dojo there. I say we demolish that, and in its place we build a church so we can recruit more Jesuits, more missionaries. It's going to be, and we're making a loss from all the recruitment. We have to make more money. Now, and I think I found the explanation why. The Atakeyama are losing territory quicker and quicker. Once they fall, we need to find a new trading partner, preferably somebody far away from our domain to avoid any potential conflict with your own trading partner, and there'll be a trade war, and it's going to be really, that's what it's all about. The wacko threat. I mean, last time when I paid 2,000 from the treasury, well, actually, I still need to pay for foreign prosperity. Oh, this is not good. Right, who else? Actually, with the imminent fall of the Hatakeyama, it means we can trade with somebody else. Someone.
I will listen attentively and then give you a fair response. Now,
somebody much more reliable. No, that way.
Let's start.
The Shimazu has taken Hyuga back from the Christian rebels. We have to destroy that army and we'll cripple them. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, hopefully. Why don't we raise a force in Busan and march down to Bungo? Meanwhile, raise a rebellion somewhere to draw out their army. When they're forced to march back and retake Bungo, they'll meet our gunfire. But we have to make sure our borders in Hizen and Tsukushi are secured. And then we've got the question of trade. Let's have a look, shall we? Actually, it's preferable we don't recruit much now. I'll send that ship down south to see who occupies the trade with the Indonesian Sultanate. They have not taken Asumi back yet, though. Oh, an heir is born. We must keep a close watch on the Shimazu army. There's a revolt brewing there, though, due to the overwhelming Christian population. Shimazu will be forced to march up to Bungo, of which, during that same time, our army can march down. The army will be battered after all the ruckus of fighting the rebels, and we can swoop in, take Bungo, destroy Shimazu, then dominate Kyushu. Why not? Meanwhile, Frana should keep a watch to this army. How formidable is it? Not quite. We can take them any day. Now we can recruit the caravels. Let's build a non-bun trade port. Now, the word non-bun is associated with the Portuguese. The Portuguese trade in Japan was called the non-bun trade. There's also this terminology of differentiation. The Northern Europeans who came later, the Dutch and the English, were referred to as the Comorgin, or Comorgin, the red-haired. The non-Bunjin who are the Spanish and the Portuguese, were associated with dark hair. So, of course, being Portugal, we are literally the non-Bunjin in the eyes of the Portuguese in the 16th century. The Dutch, whom came later, would be the Comorgin. What? How is that happiness restored? That's quite strange.
Said this you. Find more. Posso ser à vontade. Find more. Não consigo andar mais. Said you atender.
Where is that army? Now, let's build a church here. A chapel. There's a ship as well. Will come in handy for them. Nice. That's great. More income, more money.
Let's start in atender mais serviços. Eu sou
Another revolt. Christian confessor or firebrand preacher? Firebrand preacher, for now. Good. Once the rebellion marches onto Bungo and takes it, our army from here can march in, take it, and not be at war with the Shimazu. Let's muster our forces up on the border. Speaking of the rebels, where are they? Why so weak? Why can't we raise stacks of 6? So, to pose a greater threat to the Shimazu when they... Good. Very good. Let's take it. No, we're not at war with the Shimazu, remember? Because there are no penalties for attacking rebels. We have to make sure we get there before the Shimazu army does. Now that is very convenient for us. So a long way away. Now if Shimatsu's Toshihisa takes it first, we will attack anyway. And it will still be too far away for Takahisa to come to his aid. Right. Now, we have built another chapel, which means another missionary. Bernardo Brás, I like that. In my previous game, playing as Portugal, my highest ranking missionary, who is pretty much the Pope, 95% incitement to any settlement he set his foot on. He was called Bernardo Brás, and it seems the game has regenerated his name for this campaign, and I hope this man lives up to the potential, the greatness of the Bernardo Brás in the alternate game, in the alternate reality. So we just have to take Bungo. Or we take on Shimazu. I can care less for either. Let them both come. Nice. Shimazu has retreated, which means Bungo is ours for the taking. We lost only 38 men, which is my convenience. Very, very convenient. Now what should I build? Oh yes, of course. More missionaries, of course. We're going to make Kyushu the Christian hotbed of Japan. Something the historical Portuguese failed in this endeavor. So now we have a network of missionaries scattered all across Kyushu, converting the region, converting the populace, tipping the scales in our favour in the hearts and minds of the people. This is how conquest is made. Not by the sword, not by the steel, or even the lead bullets. Those come later. It must be started in the hearts and minds, in emotion. Ooh, should we give it a go? Inciting a revolt in Satsuma, the very, very ancestral seat of the Shimazu. Oh well, it was a good try. I mean, I wasn't expecting overwhelming success. So the Shimazu does have the trade with the Indonesian sultanates. Perhaps a good pretense for war. The acquisition of trade routes. Why not? Meanwhile, once this chapel is built, we will recruit another missionary. We will weaken the Shimazu's hold of their own domains. What we can do is basically bottle up Shimazu in the very south of Kyushu, and we can move in slowly from either left or right, around the mountains, and destroy him. And that clan too. Now, Shimazu is in the field. Folly, if you ask me. He should remain in his castle, In the field, he is much more vulnerable to gunfire.
Missionário em missão tem sua guarda novas instruções. Certo, Senhor, eu sou o instrumento da vontade de Deus. Tenho antes posso ser útil. Eu sou o instrumento da vontade de Deus.
That's fine, we can do this.
Nem a fé.
The truth is, we can do this forever. Another missionary. Goncalo da Cunha. Nice. Let's continue with our network of proselytizers. And once that Nanban trade port is finished, we can construct the more destructive warships.
Certo, Senhor. Sim, pode ter toda a rapidez, mas está. Eu sou o instrumento da vontade de Deus.
Amazing.
Vivo a vontade de Deus.
Another rebellion for the Shimazu to deal with. Now,
Tenho que descansar.
I have a mad plan. If we would sail our troops down here and take the rebel settlement, actually, it'll overstretch our forces, and the garrison will become vulnerable.
Vivo a vontade de Deus.
Our main army being in Bungo.
Certo, Senhor. Imediatamente. Tenho que descansar. Vivo a vontade de Deus.
I just want to know where the great Shimazu army is. What? Dishonourable daimyo? How am I dishonourable? No. I'll gather another force on the border to Hygo. Let's see how much the people will tolerate the absence of forces. Right. We'll be ready to take Hygo sooner or later.
Majestade, vivo a vontade de Deus.
Once we have located the Shimazu Grand Army, we can do a pincer movement along both sides. They'll not know where to march and where to take us. And the invasion of southern Kyushu will begin soon. I think we'll leave it there today. Thank you so much for being on board. Please leave a like and subscribe. This is Maneth, and it's always been a pleasure to do a playthrough with everybody. Thank you. Bye.